Here superstars. Continuing on from the previous video, we will look to explore the three stages of consciousness, and/or reality, within my stories and how individuals within these stages can interchange between these otherwise three realms. Now, before we continue, it's important to note that no one stage is better than the other, and that differences between these three comes down to specificity and the individual's own autonomy. Firstly, as you can see here are the physical, occupied, governed by origin, the transition, occupied by dream wanderer, and the sandbox governed by ZUR. Below the artistic expression of these three are simplified explanations on their realms and how phasing between the three worlds. For instance, the physical realm is where all individuals reside, to which after their death, they will then enter the middle point known as our transition. However, what you should take note of is that the physical realm is neither specific or unspecific. Which is to say that events in the physical realm can be completely blatant or random. To get back on track, your experiences in the physical will shape your transitionary state. Highlighted by dream wanderer's appearance, it would seem as though you could be entering the dream state. However, in reality, the transition state must be started and completed for this state to end before eventually passing into the sandbox, or returning back to the physical state. By now you might be asking for differences between dreams and transition state, which I will look to explore in a future update video regarding my Dream Wanderer story. But for ease of clarity, dreams are either specific or unspecific. The transition is strictly specific. Dreams can end at any moment. The transition state must be completed to end. Dreams do not ask whether or not you are ready to move on. In the transition, you will know when you are ready. Looking back further on the connection between the physical and transition, movement is readily permissible, with some individuals experiencing the transition and choosing to either keep their memories or rid them completely. Again, it's that autonomy that I really want to drive home. Secondly, ZUR. Within the context of the three realms, you can think of the sandbox as being the final state of conscious freedom, and not having lingering attachments to either the physical or transition. Similarly, ZUR as a concept serves as an observer. Quote, show me isn't a demand, rather genuine interest in what creation has to offer. Thus, power of imagination to be able to think critically, logically, and create is so refreshing to the eyes of ZUR. What you will also notice is that entering this state of mind also means you do not go back to the previous realms. In a sense, you are already a creator. What need would you need to go back? Why regress in a sense? No. Let's also look at these three stylistically. For some added lore and apologies because I will go into tangent. ZUR created Origin and Dream Wanderer. Origin is meant to encapsulate everything that ZUR has created thus far into a single point or amalgamation. It is also why artistically Origin, by design, doesn't appear very cohesive, and is a collection of things brought about by thought. Dream Wanderer in lore does not have a set appearance, and is instead dreamt into whatever the person dreaming them envisions. In a way, you could think of Origin and Dream Wanderer being siblings. ZUR can be seen as the creator, if you will. However, this brings about another tangent. It's like a god created another god. So which god predominates? The question is silly, but let's really think about it. Like the age-old chicken and the egg. What came before? If we highlight the existence of the egg, we would have to recognize that the chicken laid the egg. And thus ZUR created Origin, which is true canonically. However, if we take into account Origin's nature, does this not imply that Origin willed ZUR into creating it? Who influenced who? It's so interesting because in a sense for ZUR, by creating another god you must first recognize that there can be something or someone which can surpass you. But that cannot be, since you are you. Origin by quote, look you, I see you. Build me so I can build you plays on this concept so funnily because it assumes that Origin was already aware of its to-come existence. Again re-emphasizing the chicken and the egg analogy. Now you may be asking, what of Dream Wanderer? To that I actually wrote about the interaction between Origin, ZUR, and a DW. To keep it brief, Origin developed Ego, in which they tried to rid the existence of DW. This was only temporary, as DW returned after Origin had rethought of DW's existence. In trying to remember what Origin had forgotten, it had initiated a psychological pathway, which brought about the pre-existence of Dream Wanderer. Finally, going back on topic, I feel as though it's important to emphasize the doubling of ZUR's words whenever they speak. As you can see below, underneath each word should be the opposite of said word. Again reinstating the ability of ZUR to that of an all-knowing, able to express two contradictories in the saying of one. With that out, I'd like to explore more concepts in future. I believe the next video will delve into my four wonders and how they interact within my stories. Stay tuned for that one and hold me accountable when I start going off on a tangent. But seriously, a longer video probably filled with more waffle, but I truly appreciate the generosity if you stayed to the end of this video. Please stay tuned for that, as it would most likely be the same length as this one with as much analysis. Again, comment, share, like and subscribe. Anything helps me understand if the videos I post are good or not. Continue engaging and imagining. See you later. Superstars.